Hello, children. Good morning, everyone. So, where we left in the previous class, so we were basically discussing about that tripartite struggle, right? The fight, the war, the struggle between Gurjara Pratiharas of Malwa, number one, number two, the Rashtrakutas of Deccan, three, the Palas of Bengal, and the reason why they were struggling, why they were indulged in war with one another is that to establish their supremacy over Kannauj, right? So now let us see this particular three groups in brief. Okay, number one, the Gurjara Pratiharas. The Gurjara Pratiharas were the dominant power in western India, that is parts of western and central Rajasthan and parts of central India. Online, where were the dominating Gurjara Pratiharas? Western India. And western India covers which area? That's western and central parts of Rajasthan and parts of central India. In the beginning, that's initially, there had been local officials who later succeeded in establishing independent principalities. They also resisted the Arab incursions. The long line of powerful rulers of this dynasty included Nagabhatta I from 750 to 780 CE, the founder of the dynasty. Underline that, Nagabhatta I, the founder of the dynasty. So he was the founder of this Gurjara Pratihara dynasty. The next ruler after him is Vatsaraja and Mihir Bhoja. Mihir Bhoja was from 1836 to 1890 CE, and he was the most prominent among the rulers. He established the largest empire in the northern India with Kannauj as his capital. He issued silver coins bearing the emblem of Varaha, an incarnation of Lord Shiva. Underline that. He issued silver coins. He here refers to the last ruler, okay, of this dynasty, this Mihir Bhoja. He issued silver coins bearing the emblem of Varaha, an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. He also assumed the title of Adi Varaha. Another thing, please mark it. Al-Masaudi, a foreign traveler, wrote extensively about the power and prestige of the Gurjara Pratihara rulers. They were great patrons of learning and literature. Raja Shekhara, the famous Sanskrit poet, was patronized by the Pratihara rulers. Underline that. The Sanskrit poet who was patronized by the Pratihara ruler, that is Raja Shekhara. Alright, now listen. So this is the first line I already explained you that this particular dynasty or this particular rulers, they were dominating in western India. Western India covers part of western and central Rajasthan and also central parts of India. In the beginning, this when this Gurjara Pratiharas, they were establishing their dynasty. In the beginning, there were some local officials, and these officials later on succeeded to establish their independent principalities, rules and law. This Gurjara Pratihara, they also resisted, they stopped the Arab invasion, you can say that, okay, in simple language. And if you look at the line of rulers of this dynasty, the first one to establish this dynasty was Nagabhatta I from 1750 to 1780 CE, next followed by Vatsaraja. Names you'll have to memorize, okay? Vatsaraja, and the third, that is Mihir Bhoja. Now it was Mihir Bhoja who was the most you can say powerful ruler among, yes, it is written prominent, capable, powerful ruler among this, and he had established the largest empire in the northern India. And Gurjara, right? Yeah, Gurjara Pratihara, during the rule of Mihir Bhoja, they had taken Kannauj as under them, and it was their capital. Mihir Bhoja also issued silver coins where it contained the emblem of Varaha, which means a symbol of Lord Vishnu. Yes, and he himself assumed the title of Adi Varaha. Now there was one foreign traveler named Al-Masaudi who wrote up to a large extent about this Gurjara Pratihara, their powers, about their prestige, okay, of their dynasty, of the rulers of their dynasty. And this particular dynasty, these particular rulers, they were also great patrons of learning and literature. There was one famous Sanskrit poet, that is Rajashekara, who was patronized by this Pratihara rulers. These are the points from this particular topic. Next we have the Palas. The Pala Empire was established by Gopala around 750 CE. Underline that. So Gurjara established by Nagabhatta I, Pala established by Gopala. His kingdom extended over the states of present-day Bengal, Bihar, some parts of Odisha, and also some parts of Nepal as well. They fought many wars with the Gurjara Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas. The Pala dynasty expanded their political boundaries the Pala dynasty expanded their political boundaries under Dharmapala and his son Devapala. Underline that. Their empire included Kannauj, Odisha, Bihar, Assam, and northern India. According to the Tibetan chronicles, the Palas were patrons of Buddhist learning, literature, and education. Dharmapala established the famous Vikramashila Buddhist University. There are so many points to be taken note under this topic. Everything is important, but you need to understand first. Without understanding, if you try to memorize, it's of no use. Pala rulers also donated generously to Nalanda University, another famous center of Buddhist learning and education. They had trade and cultural relation with the countries of Southeast Asia. Mahipala, one of the later rulers, was defeated by Rajendra Chola of the Chola dynasty in 1023 CE. Ramapala, who lived in between 1082 to 1124 CE, was the last known king of the dynasty. Ramapala. Underline. The last known king of the Pala dynasty. The Khalji invasions eventually dealt the final blow to the Pala dynasty. Finally, it was the Khaljis whose invasion, you can say, swiped out the Pala dynasty. War, fight. Alright. Now listen. Pala dynasty. A dynasty set up by Gopala in the year 750 CE. And this dynasty was so big in area, it was so large that present days Bengal, Bihar, some parts of Odisha, some parts of Nepal, all these areas were once upon a time under the Pala dynasty. This Pala dynasty, the rulers of this Pala dynasty, they fought several fights with this Gurjara Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas. And gradually the Pala dynasty, when it was ruled by Dharmapala and his son Devpala, they also extended their territory, their political boundary. And gradually their area extended up till, you can say, this Odisha, Bihar, Assam, northern India, and also for some time Kannauj was also undertaken. So you see one similarity here. This particular line under Pala dynasty says that when they extended their territory, so Kannauj came under them. But just now the above topic that we read, that is Gurjara Pratihara, where is that line? Yeah, the first paragraph, if you see first paragraph, 1, 2, 3, Okay, from the in the first paragraph, from the last, okay, the last second, not second, the last third sentence. Mihir Bhoja, the most prominent among them, established the largest empire in North India with Kannauj as its capital. So here also, so this is where I hope now it will help you to understand in a better way that tripartite struggle. There, Mihir Bhoja says Kannauj is my capital. Here, the Palas under Dharmapala and his son Devapala, when they extended their territory, the political boundary, they included this as well, Kannauj. And according to this Tibetan records, it is said that these Palas, they were great followers, preachers of this Buddhist learning, literature and education. And Dharmapala, he has established the famous Buddhist university, which is what? Vikramshila. Okay, and also there's another Buddhist university, or you can say another center of Buddhist learning and education, that's Nalanda University, and Palas have hugely donated for it. They used to have trade with the Southeast Asian countries or kingdoms, you can say that, during those days. And one of the ruler during the end of Pala dynasty, that is Mahipala, he was the one who was defeated by Rajendra Chola of the Chola dynasty in the year 1023 CE. Okay, and the last known ruler of this particular dynasty was Ramapala. And later on, as I told you, see, look at the series of record, the sequence. First of all, Mahipala got defeated by Rajendra Chola. So that's one loss. Another thing, the last known ruler, as the text says, was this Ramapala. And thirdly, Khalji invading into their dynasty. That was a final blow for them. Next we have the Rashtrakutas. The Rashtrakuta kingdom was established by Danti Durga or Danti Varman. Underline that. Who established Rashtrakuta? Danti Durga or Danti Varman. The word Rashtra in Sanskrit means territory, while Kuta means chieftain. Underline that. In Sanskrit language, Rashtra means territory, Kuta means chieftain. Prior to acquiring the status of ruling dynasty in the Deccan, the Rashtrakutas were the vassals of Chalukyas in central India. This we got previously also, right? Where are we going? Yes, in the very first topic, the chieftains and all, emergence of new kingdoms. Where am I? Yeah. So prior to acquiring the status of a ruling dynasty in the Deccan, the Rashtrakutas were the vassals of the Chalukyas in central India. The dynasty produced many famous warriors and efficient administrators. Malkhed or Manyakhed near modern Solhapur in Maharashtra was the capital of Rashtrakutas. Online, it can be any one of the names, but it says or means same place, two names. So how you address it? Malkhed or Manyakhed, which is in today's nearby Solapur area in Maharashtra. That area was the capital of Rashtrakutas. They fought many wars with the Gurjara Pratiharas, the Chalukyas of Venji, the Pallavas of Kanchi, and the Pandyas of Madurai. Gradually, large areas of Maharashtra, Gujarat and Malwa came to be included in the Rashtrakuta Empire. The Rashtrakuta rule in the Deccan lasted till the end of the 10th century. Underline? It lasted till the end of the 10th century, and Govinda III, who was there from 1793 to 1814 CE, Amogha Varsha, who was there from 1814 to 1878 CE, and Krishna III, 1934 to 1963 CE, were the famous among the Rashtrakuta rulers. Align these three rulers: Govinda III, Amogha Varsha, Krishna III. The rock-cut cave temples at Ellora and Elephanta in the modern-day Maharashtra, now two of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in India, were built by the Rashtrakuta rulers. Okay, so be this Ellora and Elephanta, this were built by Rashtrakuta rulers. Alright, so basically the Rashtrakutas, they established their rule by this. It was established by this fellow. Who was that? Danti Durga, or you can say Danti Varman. Okay, and the name Rashtrakuta in Sanskrit, Rashtra means territory, Kuta means chieftain. But before getting that title, or before declaring themselves as a dynasty, as a ruling dynasty, they were under the Chalukyas. Okay, Chalukyas, we can say Chalukyas were their superior. They were the Rashtrakutas were subordinates of Chalukyas. And the capital of Rashtrakuta, which is in today's modern day Solapur, nearby Solapur in Maharashtra, that name is Malkhed or Maniakhed. They have also fought several wars with this Gurjara Pratihara with the Chalukyas, as because they were earlier under the Chalukyas before declaring themselves as a ruling dynasty. So definitely they had to fight. They fought with the Chalukyas of Benji, the Pallavas of Kanchi, the Pandyas of Madurai, and gradually after so many battles, large areas of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Malwa came under their control. This dynasty lasted till the end of 10th century, and the three famous ruler, or the three, you can say, prominent ruler of this particular dynasty were this Govinda III, Amogavarsha, and Krishna III. Alright. And another point to take note of, that is the UNESCO World Heritage, which is Ellora and Elephanta. These were basically built by the Rashtrakuta rulers. Okay, that's all with this three. Next we have some more other well-known kingdoms. Today we'll keep it up to this much, and now let us go to the exercise. If you listen to the class, the points that I'm mentioning, if you just if you're attentive, that's enough for you. I always try my best to explain you in a simple language. Okay, now let us see which are the questions from the exercise under this topic. Fill in the blanks. Number 1, no. 2, no. 3, no. 4, 5. Fill in the blanks. Number 5, 6, 7, 8, answer the following question in brief. No, not there. Answer the following question in detail. Rajendra. Chola dynasty. We did not do Chola dynasty, right? We did Rashtrakuta, Gurjara, and Pala. Alright, you just have fill in the blanks from these topics that we have discussed. That is 5, 6, 7, 8. I know if I don't give you some additional questions, you will feel bad. So let me give you some more questions, right? I don't want my students to feel bad. Alright, so note down some of the questions. Describe, let me also write down the question. Describe the rule of the Rashtrakutas. Alright, one is enough? Some more you want? Wait. The Pala Empire. Let me give you one question from the Pala Empire or the Pala dynasty. Alright. Comment. Write down the question. Let me write. Comment on the political boundary of the Pala dynasty. Comment on the political boundaries of the Pala dynasty. Alright, that's all for today. Not much, just 2 question answer and 3 or 4 fill in the blanks. 4 fill in the blanks. That's all. See you in the next class. Read the text properly.